Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 465 of the Ping Pong Flix Show, possibly the last episode of 2019. My God, where has the year gone? Where has the year gone? All right. So, well, actually, it's going to be the last one for in Japan 2019, I guess, because I am a day ahead. So if I do one tomorrow, it'll be the last one for Hawaii. But if any case, it's gonna be 2020. We've learned so much from the Snyder cut and the Ayer cut and all and everything else in and between. We also got some new movies coming out next year. Also, some that are going into production really soon. And one of those is the Batman. The Batman, according to new rumors, the new Batsuit will take inspiration from Lee Bermejo's design. These are some of his designs here that they're saying that they'll draw inspiration from. Very cool. I mean, I remember these designs as well. I even remember that at one point they were saying that Ben Affleck's Batman will kind of have this kind of design too. Well, it did have the smaller ears that Ben Affleck's Batman did, and it has a little bit more of a cloth type texture to it, maybe even leathery. But I am curious as to whether if this is how it's really going to go. I mean, there were rumors about the blue cowl and different, it happens every movie. Like every movie, every Batman movie, there's always discussions and rumors about how certain designs go. But if it's going to be anything like that, then I'm pretty happy with it. I think he's finally, even though he's Robert Pattinson is having problems bulking up, I think he's finally going to be ready where he has to be, because I think they start shooting real soon. So that's an update for the Batman. Nothing else, but Birds of Prey did get a little thing here. I'm not going to play the actual music because it might be copyright. It could be. I don't know. But here we go. This is just a small update for Birds of Prey. Yeah. So it's just the girls having fun. Um, 2-1, New Year's, have a fantabulous New Year. Just a small little teaser to tell, and this is one's in Chinese, so I think there was some Chinese talking in it. But that's it. That's all they have. It's just wishing us a happy New Year. Just to remind us that yes, Birds of Prey is coming out in February of next year, 2020. It's our first DC film coming out the gate, followed by possibly the Snyder Cut or Wonder Woman 1984. I'm sorry. I had to throw that in there. I don't know. I have really good faith that Snyder Cut's coming out next year, but we'll have to pray and see. But speaking about the Snyder Cut, as we move into 2020, these two men deserve to have their voices heard and their visions released. Never forget, never move on. That's right. These two gentlemen right here, David Ayer and Zack Snyder, both had their movies destroyed, maimed, pulled apart by Warner Brother execs, right? And so now that that regime is kind of away and gone, except maybe like one person, um, we are championing to this day for Zack Snyder's Justice League and release the Ayer cut if David Ayer so chooses to want to join that fight. And every little day that goes by, it seems like he's kind of really jumping on the idea as he sees how maybe successful the Snyder cut is going to be, how it will be able to be released. And with the Snyder Cut under our belt, I think we'll be confident enough with the tools we need to get David Ayer's Snyder Cut release. Now, David Ayer did do this past today. He says, seems like Kanye 214 or Kane actually seems like David was essentially forced to film a new movie after the insane BS reaction to BVS. And David Ayer actually liked that comment. So that rings pretty true. A lot of people have talked about that already. Now, that is something that is we've been knowledgeable. We have knowledge about recently, as one of the articles at that time had said the source with knowledge of events says Warner's executives nervous from the start grew more anxious after they were blindsided and deeply rattled by the a tepid response to BVS. Kevin was really pissed about damage to the brand. Kevin Tsujihara says one exec close to the studio. A key concern for Warner's executives was that Suicide Squad didn't deliver on the fun, edgy tone promised in the strong teaser trailer for the film. So while Ayer pursued his original vision, Warner set about working on a different cut with an assist from Trailer Park, the company that had made the teasers. So that's kind of really what happened to Justice League as well. Although David Ayer did stay on as a director, he even kind of went along with the company and saying that that movie that came out was edited by him, that was his movie. And then, as you know now from my recent videos, that he has slowly championed the idea that his cut was much different, even blatantly said that his cut was much different. A lot of people who saw that also said that cut was much different, was much edgier. It was a better movie, um, and it had a little bit more connective tissue possibly to the Justice League movie that was supposed to come out. As you know, there were supposed to have been parademons in it. The Enchantress was supposed to open up a boom tube instead of doing her own machine thing. So it would have been a completely different movie. Joker was more involved. Joker was like one of the main villains. He was helping Enchantress at the time. And instead of just a side character or throw-in character, so I'm really interested to see that David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad, and hopefully, like I said, with Snyder Cut under our belt, we'll be able to champion that to get that released as well. And speaking of Justice League, just as something that just went over our heads a little bit in terms of Sam Benjamin, we've been kind of guessing who he was, who he is in Justice League, and people are saying that he is Green Lantern. There's a lot of different hints and teases, even likes and from Zack Snyder and Cleanos that he is indeed a Green Lantern. We know that Green Lantern is in the movie now, and possibly maybe even a prominent role. Who knows? Some hidden role in Justice League. Justice League is over 3.5 hours. There's a lot of room for other characters to be in this film. I'm going to play this message right here.
Okay, so I've just found out that my character is not in the final cut of Justice League. It was always a possibility. As a lot of you know, I filmed my scenes with Zack Snyder, and as everybody knows, Joss Whedon took the reins of the project and finished it off. So there was always a possibility that he was going to add his own vision and make adjustments. Apparently, the movie is a lot shorter than what was going to be anticipated. So my character's not going to be featured in the movie, but I just want to say big shout out to Zack Snyder for bringing me on board, to Kate Ringsell, the casting director. I had an absolute blast filming it. And thank you to everyone who's shown support on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, DC World, Seventh Matrix, Zoom in TV, just everyone who's shown positivity and also submitted their little theories on who I might be playing in the DC universe. So yeah, not in this movie, but who knows? Maybe there'll be an opportunity to play a different role in the DC universe. So thanks again, and I'm still hyped to see Justice League, and I can't wait to read and see what everyone's gonna think of the movie. Hopefully, it's one hell of a ride, and especially honouring these awesome DC characters that we've been waiting for a movie for so long. So, yes, enjoy.
All right, so that was the message from Sam Benjamin. Very heartbreaking. I mean, to finally get to see the movie and found out that you were cut out. And if it was a big role like we think it is, Green Lantern, that is such a big thing to be taken off your resume. I mean, promises of him being in other films as well. I mean, he looked like Green Lantern. I mean, so I am really hoping that when we finally get to see it, he'll really shine, and people will want to see his version of or whatever character he was supposed to play in the movie, whether it be Green Lantern or not. But to add even more to that Green Lantern theory. This was back in November 16, 2017, when this person says, I'll be watching tomorrow night. I assume you will be the one in green, holding a lantern, which is green. And Sam Benjamin just replied back, in brightest day, hashtag Justice League, which is one of the earliest, and very, very early, just went right over our heads of Sam Benjamin teasing that he's indeed Green Lantern. And so if it is, that kind of makes sense that the execs would want to take him out, especially when Jeff Johns was having something put together. He wanted to have his own Green Lantern. I think Green Lantern is very dear to his heart. He has made great graphic novels and comics. He's written a very awesome Green Lantern stories. I don't disrespect him for that. I respect him very well for those stories, as he is a fantastic writer, but he's probably not a very good leader or an exec. But he was thrust into that, and he made some poor decisions, and that's where it came here. I mean, it is what it is, and that exactly what happened. By the way, just to in a correction from yesterday when I said that he wanted to take out Black Manta, I actually was reverse. With James Wan felt that there was too much Black Manta, it was too bloated, and he wanted to trim down Black Manta, but Jeff Johns wanted him to keep it in, maybe even put more in into that movie. So that was actually from a person who ran test screenings, and he kind of I forgot what interview that was. I did a video on that a while back, and then with the actual audio from that, so you can hear that that person actually talked about what Jeff Johns was trying to do, or trying to kind of had a conflict with James Wan and possibly even other directors as well, But in any case, that's what happened, and we're in this situation right now, hoping to get Zack Snyder involved now that Jeff Johns is out. Toby Emmerich is still there, but Kevin Tsujihara, the big one's out, and even John Berg's out. So hopefully Warner Brothers has decided to kind of help out, maybe even with the help of a different division like HBO Max and Warner Media and AT&T, to kind of say, let go of that ego. We're going to try to want to make money on the Snyder Cut now, right? So, in any case. But Clay Staub, the second DP, is continuing, what a hero, to put this out forward, whether it's because he's talking with Zack. I mean, and they're both doing this Excalibur thing, which is so cool. It just really gets people excited, and it's like trying to find clues and stuff like that. Well, he tweeted out this today. Within Arthur's fractured sword of Excalibur, you'll discover a message, not a massage, message. Then another in the highlight of his battle tainted right shoulder guard, and finally King's left foreground shoulder plate. It's all there. If you look close enough, release the Snyder Cut. Okay, so I kind of, hopefully this is high res enough where you can look at what he's talking about. So on the sword, it says, the sword of unity must never be broken, okay? And I think he's referring to the fandom. We should never break up. We should be united in our word of hashtag release the Snyder Cut. We should do more events possibly to get involved in and come together for this. Another one here, I think he said it was around here. Here it is. It says the land and the king are one. It could possibly mean us and Zack Snyder are one, united, united to, get the Snyder Cut released, get his vision released. That's possible. And then, of course, at the end here, release the Snyder Cut was right on the breastplate. It's very much like Zack Snyder with all of this little breadcrumbs and things like that, and try to reinterpret it. I mean, it really makes me want to go back and watch Excalibur, which I'm hoping to do pretty soon. I haven't watched it since high school. That's more than 20 years ago. But I really love King Arthur and the Knights, and I used to remember reading about it and reading actual novel, even though it was hard to really read because it was very, the way it was, the language was different, So, it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of exciting to. It's like we're all on a quest, embarking on a quest to find the Holy Grail, which is the Snyder Cut, and we're all working together to get it. It's like it's even like Ready Player One if you want to get modern with it, and like Percival and trying to go get the keys and stuff like that, and to unlock the secret of the Holy Grail with the 214, this release the Snyder Cut. So hopefully that's good. And for really just for fun, we're still hoping that after the Snyder Cut releases, that maybe it's possible we can get the rest of the Vision, the rest of the JL 2 and 3. But it doesn't stop with wondering about that hard, crazy idea that Zack Snyder said he didn't get to shoot, right? That crazy idea that there will be a rioting in the streets, mass hysteria, what is that, right? This was brought up recently, and that when Jeff Purdy was trying to figure out what was that crazy idea, and Mick actually put this out November 17th. He did this a while back, but because of the shirt and stuff, looking at this, we're trying to guess what that shirt actually mean, everything about it, right? It's very cryptic, and there's a lot of different interpretations of it, but this was an interesting one. It says, the BVS Global Watch Party, she was my world and you took her from me. Oh shit, what if the globe on all the gods means his world? What if the globe represents Lois? The A was previously identified as possibly being the scarlet letter. This is the mark placed on people who commit adultery. The kiss of betrayal. Did Bruce and Lois? Could this be the hard idea that makes Clark succumb to anti-life? Or maybe anti-life tricks Clark into believing it happened? And then, interesting enough, Zack Snyder, Clay Reynolds, all these people liked that theory. Now, whether that means it's true, hard to say. Like Jeff Purdy says, the actual idea, the hard idea, the scary idea, we never filmed because the studio was like, that's crazy. This is a shot from Excalibur where Arthur happens onto Lancelot and Guinevere, naked and having it done the deed, and then he places the Excalibur sword in between them in a sign of betrayal. So is that something that could have happened, or in Justice League 2 or 3, where that's why he says you took her from me? Not essentially she died. We know that. We know Lois died because of the dark side and stuff like that. But what if that happened? Or was he made to believe that and he succumbed to the anti-life? And the anti-life is not a lie. It's not like Darkseid telling him, hey, dude, Batman slept with your wife. Huh! What are you going to do about that? It's not like that. Okay, so it's like he took control over him. Complete control, subjugated. dominated by the dark side, and so that he has no control over himself, and he's completely turned evil under the servant of dark side, meaning that that whole thing with Bruce and Lois may not even have happened, but the idea that he was being fed these lies, possibly even Bruce killing Lois or something, something like upon those lines, that possibly that could happen. But it is interesting, and it's great to see people, continually trying to theorize and figure out. It gets you. It to me anyway, it gets me excited to imagine like what happens next, even after the Snyder Cut. What's the future after that? But it all matters. It all starts with getting that Snyder Cut release, and hopefully that Snyder Cut will release in 2020. But just in case, there are people in the movement who are continuingly to try to get the word out, and this one is the newest one from Will Rollins, and also an RT Snyder Cut. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut at the FA Cup. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. This is organizing a new fundraiser. You only have a few days to donate, so because the game is this Sunday. On Sunday, 5th January 2020, the FA Cup third round match between Middlesbrough, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, FC and Tottenham Hotspur FC will be held at 2:01 p.m. UK time, 9:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This match will be televised all over the world. It will be broadcast in the USA via streaming service ESPN. The FA Cup is the most famous, oldest domestic football, so soccer, trophy in the entire world. During the games surrounding the pitch are electronic LED advertising boards that display advertisements throughout the course of the match. These adverts usually go for sale for tens of thousands of dollars, but we have found a deal where we can get 1 minute of advertising for £600 inclusive of tax. This is approximately the equivalent of $780 US. Our hope is to purchase as many minutes of advertising as possible. For every £600 you raise for advertising, we will commit £600 to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. However, as the deadline is fast approaching, the first £1,200 will go directly to fund the advertisement campaign, and the next £1,200 will be donated. Who we know this is hot on the heels of the Christmas holiday period and the recent and New Hope banner over Warner Bros. Studios. However, this deal is not common and has worldwide potential to raise awareness for the Snyder Cut and AFSP. It also should also obtain more mainstream media attention. So let's do this. How many minutes is up to you? Hashtag FA Snyder Cup, hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Any funds gained that cannot help meet the next stretch goal will go directly to the AFSP. And there is some amazing things has happened since that today, and I've shared it on Instagram, I've shared it on YouTube as a post, I've shared it on Twitter and on Facebook. So hopefully you were able to read that and click on and help donate to this. I think it's kind of cool and amazing to actually be, it's kind of like where they put Star Wars in the American football, right? They did that. They did a combination of that. Release the Snyder Cup at the FA Cup in football. And so right now, $2,600 was already raised. That means we've already got a whole minute's worth, right? 2 minutes. 2 minutes worth, and the other half should be going to the AFSP. I think that's how it works. Don't quote me on that. But in any case, they're still taking donations. If you want to go, the link is down in the description below. If you can, please go ahead and donate to that and let us be known around the world in one of the most famous, oldest domestic football trophies in the world. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. And if you have a little extra, or if you'd rather get something over the holidays, and also at the same time support American Foundation of Suicide Prevention and Zack Snyder's Justice League and hashtag release the Snyder Cut, there is this link still yet at inktothepeople.com. This is Zack Snyder's. I want to emphasize This is Zack Snyder's design. This is not a fandom design. This is not a fan design. This is Zack Snyder's design. Zack Snyder, the director, the guy who made Man of Steel, Sucker Punch, 300, Watchmen, Dawn of the Dead, the real Justice League, Batman v Superman, I almost said Justice League, but the real Justice League that he is hopefully getting released next year, made this design. This is his design. These are the symbols, the logos that he's chosen. It comes in a hoodie. It comes in a t-shirt. This is ships internationally everywhere. So go and get it right now. There's still time left to buy, as these are approximate delivery on Sunday, February 16th. The goal is 25,000. We're almost there. In 1 week's worth, it has reached $20,280. Please, if you have a chance, please go and check this out. Get a shirt. I got a shirt. I got a hoodie. I may even get a little bit more. Who knows? But please go ahead if you can. Donate to this, get a shirt, get the official Zack Snyder's Justice League merchandise. You want to see official stuff about Zack Snyder's Justice League, official stuff about the Snyder Cut, like the real deal coming from the director himself, then there is no better site to go to right now and get your own official merchandise of Zack Snyder's Justice League from the director himself. So that's a bold statement indeed. And you notice that it's also in black. So that's it. That's all I have to say for 2019. I might have one tomorrow. Let's see what happens. You'll never know what comes out, the actual New Year's Eve in America. But for internationally, especially here in Japan, Happy New Year. Happy 2020. Looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984, Birds of Prey, Godzilla vs. Kong, and of course, hopefully, fingers crossed, but I feel like it's really going to happen, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let's hear it, guys. 2020, the year of the Snyder Cut, and even his own zombie movie, Army of the Dead, coming out to Netflix in 2020. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for subscribing this year. 12,000 subscribers. Amazing. I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful holidays. Please stay safe. Please be careful out there. But most of all, have fun. And I'll see you next year. Bye-bye.